right? But what is most important here to understand is that only what a brand is? Is that only what a brand is? No, that's not just the attribute of a successful brand or a successful branding. Successful branding is actually also about the experience, right? So branding or a successful brand, I would say, firstly, we should focus on creating the experience for the customers, right? So it's more about, being more inclined towards giving them the worth, the value, which we say. Whenever we talk about the product, we always talk about its unique value proposition or the unique selling proposition, isn't it? Some unique attribute that the product carries. That's the reason why it's very important for us to understand first. The brand is not just merely about its, attributes like, sound or the logo or the graphics. It's also about the experience which the brand gives to it, to the customers. So, because, we should consider it this way. Like, for example, for a person, it's very important to, build a reputation. Like, for example, if I work at a university, for me, it's very important to kind of maintain that, reputation at my workplace. Similarly, for a brand, right, to survive, to give a better experience to its consumers, it's very, very important to kind of maintain that reputation for a prolonged time. So I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody could tell me. All right. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So the more stronger the, this thing, reputation means the more stronger the brand is, which in turn, translates this into a value. Right. So here comes the difference between, now many people have this doubt that, then what is the difference between a product and a brand? The sole difference here is that the product and the brand is timeless. Product can get obsolete. प्रोडक्ट जो होता है वो ऑब्सोलीट हो सकता है. ऑब्सोलीट का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय ऑब्सोलीट? ऑब्सोलीट का मतलब है आउटडेट हो जाना विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. ठीक है, लेकिन ब्रांड, अगर ब्रांड की एक रेप्यूटेशन इन द मार्केट, इफ एट द मार्केट प्लेस योर ब्रांड इज हैपेंस टू काइंड ऑफ बिल्ड दैट reputation, stronger reputation in the marketplace, it becomes very easy for the brand to approach more people, the customer base. By people, I mean the customer base. So that's the reason why we talk about reputation first when we're discussing about the elements of branding, because these are the basic terms. Because post this, I will be telling you about the importance of branding. But to understand the importance of branding, firstly, we need to know the basic terminology as to what is associated with the brand, right? So reputation is a term which is very important in context to branding, because jab tak wo reputation brand apna nahi build karega, it would be very difficult for that brand to survive. It would be very difficult for that brand to actually, kind of build that trust, the trust. So it's very important to build the trust. We talk about brand equity, isn't it? So it's giving वैल्यू प्रीमियम जो कोई भी कंपनी जनरेट करती है, और वो कैसे जनरेट करती है? वो ऐसे जनरेट करती है अगर वो कंपनी, इफ दैट बिजनेस is actually able to kind of create a memorable impression about its products. अगर वो कंपनी memorable impression बना रही है through their products, right, in the mind of the consumer, if that company is trying to create a perception, a good perception about its product in the mind of the consumers, then surely that means कि उस कंपनी ने अपने ब्रांड इक्विटी को इनहांस करने में बहुत काम किया है. Enhance करने से, by that I mean they've worked a lot on building their brand equity, positive brand equity. So I hope I'm audible to you, or those of who've joined. These are the basic terms that we should be knowing when we talk about branding, the importance of branding, isn't it? Yes or no? If I would like to ask my audience, do you agree or not? Is it about value or not? Is it about a stronger reputation or not? Is it about this thing, creating a memorable impression about your product in the mind of customers or not? It absolutely is. There are several brands, like I'll give you an example of a very, very popular brand, which is Apple, right? So, like we all know about this famous brand, Apple, and it's scattered, uh, people are so much fascinated, I would say, fascinated by its design. I would say the unique value proposition that Apple gives is through their design and utility, and that is how the brand is actually able to build so much of reputation, has a good customer base, and is so popular among people that people actually rave to have Apple products. I mean, if somebody has an Apple product, be it an iPod or a MacBook or iPad, so people actually are so much all the time raving about those products. It's again a sign of good brand equity and good branding, I would say, that it has been able to make a loyal customer base for itself. And it's so popular and it's so always, raved about by the people who use it because of the design, that is first. And the second one is the utility. So this is something which is very important and that I felt like shedding light upon. So I hope you're able to comprehend what I'm trying to tell you. Can you please tell me if I'm audible? In the middle, because there is a certain, the
Yes,
network is
ma'am.
happening.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
You are audible.
Okay, so let's hear it. I wanted to actually make the session more interactive. I wanted to discuss about certain brands, like the famous brands, who've had a successful branding. And uh, can I have a few names from your end? I think that would be really interactive from your side.
Sakshi, I'm here, Sakshi. Hello,
Yes, please.
my name is Sakshi, ma'am.
All right, Sakshi. Yes, do you want to say something?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the system's voice is not working, so we are speaking from Vishranti name, under the name of Vishranti. I hope that
All
is
right.
okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's discuss or let's talk about a few brands. To name some, I'd name a few for you. And Nike, I'm sure you must have heard about this brand, Nike. Yes. So I came up with the Just Do It campaign, right? And the kind of popularity it gained, isn't it? Right now, I'm talking about certain brands, the famous successful branding strategies of certain brands, right? So Nike, actually, what did Nike do? Anybody who wants to try? So, when we talk about athleisure, the name, the brand that comes in our mind, athleisure ki jab hum baat karte hain, it's Nike, right? They even, they have engaged in so many campaigns and their advertising strategies and everything. The Just Do It campaign was very, very popular as well, right? So it actually kind of reminded Nike, actually kind of reminded its customers that anyone can actually be an athlete in their own way. All right. So, but one thing that they had highlighted is that anyone can be an athlete in their own way. All they need is the right kind of athletic, requirements. So that's where they gave a signal when they said that, people need the right kind of athletic products, right? So that is when, they initially they said anybody can be an athlete in their own way. And then they said, but for that, they do need the right kind of athletic products to fulfill their athletic needs. So that's where, they're dealing, right, in the athleisure, into, this thing, footwear, the apparels, and, the sport attire, isn't it? So again, it has been able to kind of retain, and it has been able to seek that kind of popularity in terms of its products, in terms of its the comfort, in terms of its pricing and everything in the category athleisure, right? Similarly, if I talk about KFC, I think that's again a very, very popular brand, KFC, which is the acronym, and the brand is Kentucky Fried Chicken, isn't it? So which was founded by Colonel Sanders. But here again, a very, very, very successful branding, if I talk about specifically and exclusively about branding. So yes, KFC. So we do the chicken right. That's how they go about. So it's again very, very successful. If I talk about branding, okay, Burger King, McDonald's. I think these are the brands that have been really, really successful, isn't it? Yes or no? So I hope I'm audible to you all. Okay. So please let me know if I'm audible or not.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, but why don't you getting a reply? That's just because all the participants are watching from YouTube Live and Facebook Live. So it's like a one-way communication. So that's why they just can't comment there. They can't speak directly. That is
Okay,
the
okay,
thing.
I got it now. I got it. Actually, yes. So being in the habit of teaching, you get used to saying this again
Sure.
and again and become accustomed to saying this to the students.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
that's what I wanted to say. So if for a successful branding, it's very much required to firstly, focus on making the experience better for your customers. Like I said initially, it's not just about your logo. It's not just about your not only about certain attributes like the physical attributes. It's also about creating the entire experience, the whole experience, a better one for the user who will be using it, isn't it? Like, for example, I gave you the example of Apple. Now, why is the iPhone so popular among people? Because of its what? Because of the kind of because some people say it's the camera, the higher megapixel, the picture quality, the HD display, the interface, right? And most importantly, the design. So this is how actually the brands to make it to actually not just focus on being a commodity, but to it wants to be fit in the frame of a brand. So it's very, very important. It's very significant to give that utility in terms of consumer experience to the customers, isn't it? So yes, a stronger reputation can ultimately translate to a stronger value, right? So definitely, if it's directly associated, the more stronger the reputation means, the more stronger the brand, and which in turn translates into value ultimately. So the importance of branding. What would be the importance of branding here? Branding definitely increases your business value. All right. So value उससे बढ़ जाती है. product ki. Yes or no? People start saying that, I prefer this brand, or I would go for brand. Why is it so? Because brands are ultimately giving you that unique value. The UVP that we say, unique value proposition, or the USP, something unique, some unique attribute, which you can actually rely upon. Right. So definitely being reliable is the key. Right. So and also the importance of branding is that it helps you, like I talked about, generating a customer base. Right. So branding help you do that. Generating a customer base, a pool of customers for your business, for your enterprise. Right. So another, I would say, is that another key factor here is that people who use brands, right, they start relying on that brand. The kind of value that they generate out of it is something which they hold on to, which they kind of want to cling to. So that's the importance of branding, that people can actually kind of consider it to be a matter of pride. When you opt for a brand, it becomes a matter of pride for the person who uses a product, a branded one, right? And also, not to mention one significant point here, which is satisfaction, customer satisfaction, right? In marketing, we always talk about placing the consumers on top, right? Wherein we consider the customers, needs to be something which has to be taken, which has to be, treated with utmost priority, which has to be being given, which has to be actually prioritized, isn't it? So for that matter, it's very, very important to actually, create a product in such a way that you can not only rely on that product, your customers can not only rely on that, but are actually also satisfied by that product, so they can have a good experience while using it, isn't it? So be it services or be it products, right? So this is how, like, for example, if I give you, like, we were amidst the pandemic all this time, right? So people could not go out of their houses. They were kind of all because of the pandemic, and we were amidst the pandemic, we were home, we could not step out of our homes, which kind of we were kind of abstained from going to the marketplace. So there are these companies like Urban Clap and all, which provide services, doorstep services, which have made it so easier for us to avail the services, made it so easier for us. So they created a good, if you go through the some survey, the internet live stat survey, or if you go through the reviews, people are very much satisfied being amidst the pandemic time to avail services from them at their comfort zone, I would say. So it's all about the experience that you create for your consumers. That counts a lot. It's all about giving them the worth. It's all about giving them the value, right? So there is that phrase that goes by, the branding is actually the art of aligning things, right? It's actually the art of aligning things. It's actually, kind of this thing. It's also about becoming more knowable, more recognizable, more likable to your audience, to your customer base, to the masses, right? So if you are knowable का मतलब है कि अगर आपको लोग जानते हैं, if people know you, that means it's something positive. If I talk about enhancing your brand equity, this is something positive if the people know you. It's very important to be knowable. It's very, very crucial, very significant to be recognizable. ठीक है, recognizable अगर मैं बोलती हूँ, if I say डर के आगे जीत है, right? So definitely there people, you know, will say कि Mountain Dew, right? Because the tagline is so popular, isn't it? So yes, it's about being recognizable. It's about being you know, knowable and likable. So that is the kind of experience a brand has to create in the mind, not just in the mind, but actually when the consumer is you know, in the phase wherein the consumer is actually you know, buying your product or has bought your product or is using your product, the experience should be good altogether in order to create a you know, consumer satisfaction, right? So business is actually, I would say, in today's time is a body, whereas brand or branding is the soul. So that is something which is very, very important to understand and comprehend, that brand is the soul, right? So that is what you know, I had to say. And definitely it's if there's somebody you know, who is kind of an aspiring business person, or who is an aspiring entrepreneur for that matter, should actually you know, keep these things in mind while framing strategies or working on revamping certain strategies. Should actually you know, keep these things in mind, that it's very important to kind of reach out to promote your product, right? We do talk about advertising as the best way to persuade, to convince, right, your customers. But it's even more important to actually, you know, kind of uh, generate a value premium through your product, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind while you know, when you talk about branding. I hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
I also had a PPT to share with you, but because I started speaking, I just forgot to share the PPT. I am really sorry for that. So can it be shared right now?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Just all right, because of some technical glitch and some network error happening at my end, I'm not actually able to, you know, share it with you. It's not getting uploaded here.
Okay, ma'am, no problem.
So I hope this session was useful to you. Please, those of you who are actually interested in branding and knowing about brands, please make sure you consider, uh, you know, your business as a body and brand as its soul, right? And you should know that you know, it's very, very important to generate a value premium, isn't it? To become more knowable, to become more likable, recognizable, to create a memorable impression in the mind of the consumers, right? So that you know, they are lured by your products, so that they can cling to your products. They are fascinated by the services that you need to offer to them, and you know, so that you ultimately build a more stronger reputation through that. Once you're able to build that stronger reputation, you know, you will be one of the most strongest brands, because now that you know, market is loaded with humongous products, so many competitors at the marketplace, it's very difficult to survive. So it's very, very significant to kind of focus on offering the and generating the value premium, right? So this is what I had to say, and that's it for the session. And yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank all the participants who were live. You can put your queries in the description or in the comment box on our YouTube video. Let me tell you, this session will be available on our Research Circle YouTube channel. So if you have missed it, or if you want to share to somebody else, you can just go to Research Circle YouTube channel and you can share from it. Thank you so much, Miss Mallika Tiwari, ma'am, for taking out the time and delivering the session for us. Thank you so much. We do appreciate your time and efforts. Thank you so much.
Having me here and for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, everybody, for patiently being in the session and for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.